Okay, the manager's here to take your questions on the game. If you'd like to put your hand up.
Ralf, I'm sure that's possibly the exact opposite of the kind of response you would have wanted from losing 4-0 at Liverpool. You'd have wanted to see a better response from your team today?
Well, I think we showed a response that was for sure an improved performance compared to the game at Liverpool. But still, we gave away an easy goal, an early goal, far too easy, the way that we defended in that moment. I think we had 2 or 3 times the chance to clear the ball. But we didn't, and after being 1-0 down after 4 minutes in a game like this, again, didn't make life easier for us. But I think the reaction that we showed after that was good. We had numerous chances to score ourselves. We hit the crossbar, we hit the post twice. Apart from that, had enough chances to score 3 or 4 goals. And we were also pretty unlucky, to put it in a mild way, with the VAR decisions. There were 3, if not 4, more than questionable VAR decisions after having seen those video footage in the locker room. But again, in the end, it's about the result, and the result was disappointing. Right now, our biggest problem is just defending in and around the box. And in the last 3 games, on average, we conceded 3 goals, and this is just too much.
Can you go through those VAR? Can you go through those VAR decisions one by one, Ralf?
Well, yes. I mean, there was another handball issue in the first half where Jadon Sancho was involved. The second goal of Cristiano was not offside, and you can even see it in that total perspective. They were exactly in one line. Their third goal was clearly offside. I spoke to David De Gea after the game, and he said to me he just couldn't see the ball because Nketiah was in between Granit Xhaka and himself, and clearly offside. They checked it, but for whatever reasons, they still gave the goal. And what was the third one? Anthony Elanga, yeah, that was. I mean, he was arm in arm, not him, but the other player with him, at least also questionable. For me, that was the other 3 situations were clearer. But again, this is why we have a VAR, and you should expect that if the VAR plus the referee, if they're checking situations, they should, in the end, take the right decision.
The Elanga one was in the first half, you mean? Yeah.
Well, all of them. But I said we were at least unlucky with those 3 or 4 moments. But again, we have to just get better in defending the box. And I think the way we did that until 5-6 weeks ago, we were on a higher level. And even in the pressing moments, whenever we pressed Arsenal today, we were causing problems to them. But we just didn't do it often enough. We should do that more often, with more intensity, with more players involved. If all the players sprint against the ball, then it has even a higher effect than it had today.
Can you just say, are you saying you think they drew the lines on the pitch in the wrong place for that Ronaldo offside?
I don't know. I just saw it right now after the game, and it was, if this is the right picture, and I suppose they showed me the right picture and you could see it, then it was clearly one line in one line.
What do you believe is behind this decline for the last 5 or 6 weeks in terms of defending? Is it physical fatigue, mental fatigue?
Well, difficult to say. I think obviously the defeat against Atletico in the Champions League destroyed a lot of hopes and also emotions of some of the players, which I can understand, because I think we could have a chance to proceed in that round after the first game with 1-1 and the second game at home when we lost 1-0. I think that very moment caused some negative reaction within the group. Then the draw against Leicester and the defeat at Everton also had some effect. So, but I think today the reaction was good. Even also the energy within the group was good. But again, if you concede 3 goals, then it's difficult. In order to get a point, you need to score 3, and in order to win, you need to score 4 goals, and this is just too much.
Do you believe this team is confident enough to win games of football?
I think we could have won the game today, yes, had Bruno converted the penalty, and we had, even after that penalty, we hit the post with Diogo Dalot, and had the second goal of Cristiano after that. So it was not a question of not creating enough opportunities ourselves.
No, Ralf, on the defending, could you talk us through your decision to leave Maguire out and whether you felt that had a positive effect on the unit?
Well, I decided to play with a back 4 again after the first half of Liverpool and not having enough training time in between. Rafa Varane was fully fit again, so I had to decide between those 3 players. And after all, the issues that Harry had to deal with, it was a tough week for him. I just decided to play with Rafa and with Victor.
Paul Scholes said he spoke to Jesse Lingard recently and said that Jesse said that the dressing room is a disaster. I can imagine the mood isn't great now after a defeat, but having observed this dressing room over the last 4 months, what is it like?
I don't know. You have to ask Jesse Lingard if you have this information. Obviously, after games like today or the game at Liverpool or Everton, there is massive disappointment in the locker room for sure, and this is normal. It would be rather a problem if that was different. So this is for me normal. But I think the whole group they get on reasonable with each other. I'm not daring to say they get on well with each other, but I don't see that there is an issue with regard to the atmosphere in the locker room.
Is it hard to motivate players?
Pardon?
Is it hard to motivate players at the moment? The Champions League is almost gone.
Oh, yes, quite obviously it's hard to motivate, but not to motivate them, but to keep the energy level high. And that's why I think it was still important to show some improvement and a reaction today, which was clearly the case, but yeah, obviously there is no substitute to success, and it would have been good for us and for the level of confidence of the team if we had been able to score a second or a third goal.
Okay, last 2 questions, one here and one there.
You said confidence was an issue after the Atletico defeat. How worried are you now for the rest of the season that performances are just going to completely drop off and confidence is going to be completely drained from the squad?
Well, it's a question again of pride, a question of honor. We owe that to the fans. We have 2 home games now. The next 2 games are at home against Chelsea and against Brentford. I think we saw a few good things today. Offensively, we had enough. We created enough moments, but we have to defend. It's clear we have to defend better in and around the box, and this was again the problem today.
Do you think you're completely out of the top 4 race now?
Yeah. If you look at the table and the teams with Tottenham and Arsenal, I think it's not very realistic to dream and speak about top 4.
Last question. No, finished?
Can I just ask about the penalty? Because you said on television that Cristiano didn't feel like he was well enough to take it or ready enough to take it.
Well, I spoke with him after the game and asked him, and he said he just didn't feel as if he should take it, and that's why he said that it would be better if Bruno took it.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.